Welcome to the presentation of OLIVIA English Language Lab, the best tool to impart correct English to your students. OLIVIA English Language Lab is the only integrated language lab solution. By integration, we mean we made the software first and then integrated that with a hardware system for better delivery. And this system of delivery makes OLIVIA English Language Lab unique among any other solutions available in the market. We don't use a computer in each seat. That reduces the overall cost of the language lab. Let us see the hardware system first. We are now going to show the demonstration of the hardware.
OLIVIA Language Lab, the best tool to impart correct English to your students. The concept. We have a multimedia software. It has visuals and voiceover. The visuals are projected in a big screen using an LCD projector. The voice is transmitted to the headphone attached to student unit. This concept makes our lab unique. We reduce the overall cost of the lab. The transmission loss is minimized, causing the absorption rate rise. Teacher unit. This is the controlling unit operated by the teacher. It has 4 operation modes. Teacher mode. This mode is used when the teacher speaks to the students. Computer mode. This mode is used when the students listen to the digital voices in the software. Digital voice recorder. The digital voice recording portion in the student unit becomes active when the teacher switches this on. Voice Pro. The teacher switches this mode on to enable the students to record their performance in the computer. Student unit. This is a piece of our digital apparatus. Each student sits with this one. A headphone is attached to this unit. The students hear through this headphone and speak through the mic attached to it to record their voice in the computer. All the student units are controlled by the teacher unit. The student unit has 2 parts, the green portion and the blue portion, which marks the digital voice recording portion. This makes practicing possible. Computer. We use a dedicated computer or a laptop to load the software. Projector. LCD, DLP or LED projectors are used to project the visuals in the computer onto a big screen. Power supply unit. This regulates the power supply to the student units at 40 volts. This avoids power shock from the unit to the students. Wiring. The student units are connected to the teacher unit with wires to make the running of all functions smooth. The total installation is done on a turnkey basis. This is a new lab they have made for this purpose, where the furniture used is custom built. This is another lab
You have seen various types of language labs, and it is presented in infrastructures of their choice. It is not the infrastructure, but how we use it and how the teachers are conveniently using this one for the benefit of the students to impart correct English. That is what we are more concerned with. Now, a fully language lab, full 40-seated language lab will be looking like this when presented in an average infrastructure, average place. Now let us go to the software modules. And in the software we have 21 modules and 2 modules for the CBSE ASL applications. And we start with the letters of the English alphabet, and that we start from this segment, English for Teachers. And this one is presented for the teachers to acquire it correctly from the software and deliver it right to the students. Let us go to that one.
The English alphabet has 26 letters. The alphabet begins with A. This is A. A. A is a combination sound. It has A in it. It also has E in it. 2 vowels put together. A starts with A and ends with E. A, E, A. Do not say A. A is wrong. It is A. The letter A, like all the other letters, is energized. English is an energized language. All the letters in the English alphabet are energized. You should learn to pronounce A with extra breath energy, like this. A. Again. A. Once again. A.
This is a portion from the segment for teachers. Actually, we train the LKG teachers to present it in the correct way. We ask them to learn it from this one, get it from this one, and deliver it correctly to the students. And that is why the whole definition, whole explanations, whatever we can give about that letter is given, mainly the sound and the stressing. So like this, all the 26 letters are explained, and it is interesting to note that minimum 10 letters in the English alphabet we pronounce incorrectly and makes mistakes in pronunciation. So when we complete this one, we will be making a good way through this alphabet. Though it is presented for the LKG students, this stands good for any standard students and for any adult learners, because acquiring the English alphabet in the right way is also a step towards acquiring correct English. After the presentation of the letters, in each letters we have presented some words and explained it like this. The explanation of these words are also unique. Now let us see this word.
This is an anchor. 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 2 syllables. Anchor. Listen to it again. Anchor. An is a first syllable and it is stressed. K is a second syllable. The final R in the word is not pronounced. The first syllable, which is stressed, is an. It's rather long. An. An. The second syllable is short. K is short. Let's say it again. Anchor. Once again. Anchor.
I don't think anybody have heard a word explained like correct. The sounds, stress, everything is explained here. So like this, all the words available here, some 300 words are presented and explained here. Like that, there is another unique presentation here on more words. See this one.
And. You know, the word and can be pronounced in 2 different ways depending on whether it is emphasized or not. When it is emphasized, It's a long vowel, the fourth vowel, a, and. When it is not emphasized, it's a very short vowel, a. So it can be and or and. You and I, there and is not emphasized, so it is and. But if you say you and I, when it is emphasized, it is a long vowel. So the word and has two pronunciations. One and with the long vowel a, the other one is without any emphasis, without any stress, and. So they're both correct, and und.
See, here this word and is with us for the last so many years, and in the dictionary this is presented in the same way as strong and weak form of presentation. In spite of all these things, to many of us, this information is a new thing. Like this, we have added a lot of new informations which either we have not been serious or we have not taken note of. That is the presentation, that is the uniqueness of our presentation. Now let us go to the other aspects. Like this, everywhere we have all the letters are presented like this and explained. All the words are presented like this. We can see this word
Alone, alone, alone is 11th in the software. Alone, alone. The stress is on the second syllable.
So it is quite different from what we say is just alone. The first letter, first sound that we produce is not correct. The sound that is coming in the middle for O, that also is not correct. So here the problem is to correct us. Alone. On hearing this one, there is a tendency for some of us to get it right. Now let us go to the other part. This alphabet is presented in two ways, two manner. If it is to the teacher, it is like that. When it is presented to the students, we avoid the explanations and the presentation will be like this.
This is A. This letter is pronounced as A. This word has the primary stress on the first syllable, as anchor.
No much explanation. The explanations, the students, the teachers are to give the explanations to them or correct the students after getting the explanations from it. That is how it has to be delivered. Now, going to the other sections, Global English for students. By students, we mean the students starting from the 4th standard. We teach them everything about English.
Has sounds, words, phrases, and sentences. If you want to find out about English sounds, you must study English phonetics. If you want to improve your pronunciation, you must learn how English sounds are produced. Did you know that English has 24 consonants, 12 vowels, 8 vowel glides or diphthongs, 2 stress patterns, and 2 intonation patterns?
This is the foundation of English, which we have conceived it in the incorrect way as 26 letters, 21 consonants and 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U. That never stands in our way of learning correct English or pronouncing English in the right way. If you want to pronounce English in the right way, the sounds of English, that has to be learned. And the sounds of English is 44 consonant sounds, 12 vowel sounds, and 8 vowel glides or diphthongs, 2 stress patterns and 2 intonation patterns. And in the following frames, we present everything like this the consonants, vowels, diphthongs, everything we explain and present it. Let us go to the next frame.
Criteria for standard Indian English speech. Finally, we propose a 2-point criterion for standard English speech in India. First, it must be free from the phonetic interference of Indian languages. Freedom from phonetic interference means learning to use all the 24 consonants, 12 vowels, and 8 vowel glides of English, and not substituting nearest equivalents from Indian languages. Secondly, English speech by Indians must be stress-timed and not syllable-timed. Indian languages are syllable-timed, which means each syllable is given equal prominence. Stress timing, on the other hand, refers to varying degrees of prominence given to different syllables in a word. In English, some syllables are more prominently emphasized than others. When extra stress is not given to the right syllable, or when incorrect stressing is applied, words sound un-English.
This is a peculiarity in our software. We give a criteria for standard, we give a criterion for standard Indian English speech. We don't advocate American English or British English. What we say is, use the 24 consonants and 12 vowels and 8 vowel glides, and do not substitute the nearest equivalent from our language as we do it now. And introduce stressing habit, which is not in our linguistic habits. Once we have these two, using the correct sounds and the stress patterns, we will be accepted. Our English will be accepted anywhere in the globe. And try to learn and acquire the sounds and stress patterns from the software.
1. B as in pin. 2. B as in bin. 3. T as in tin, pet, step. 4. D as in din, dad, dress. 5. K as in kin, keep, cool. 6. G as in gay, gum, tug.
Like this, all the 24 consonants are presented and made studying, learning of these sounds very easy as we give some words to learn it correctly. The G as in gay, gum, tuck. To start with that sound, to end with that sound, sometimes that sound in the middle, etc., etc. And now the next presentation is on vowels.
Table of vowels. E as in din, in. E as in lean, keen. A as in let, end. A as in bat, mat. A as in calm, part. As in burn, girl. O as in dog, lot. O as in thought, cord. U as in put, good. U as in food, rude. A as in but, cut. As in about, the.
Fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, 11th one, and 12th one. These 5 sounds are unique in English sounds, and the other sounds is available in our language also, and similar to that is available in our language. So these sounds, etc., have to be learned. It cannot be written in our language. And so we substitute this one with the nearest equivalent from our language. That should not be done. This one, abrupt coming, abrupt ending. So this is to be done like this. And here also, for individual study, the next presentation is made like this.
E as in din, in, kin. E as in lean, keen.
Then the vowel glides.
List of vowel glides with illustrative words.
A ape, ape, late, late.
I don't think all of us pronounce these two words in the right way. Ape, it can go up to the extent of ape in some rural areas. The next word is almost always late, not late, a. So this is the sound, the next sound.
The second one, I, time. The third glide is oi, boy, boy. The fourth one is oh, so. The fifth one is ow, house. The sixth one is ear, ear. The seventh one is air, care. And the final vowel glide is poor, poor, poor.
In all these 8 overglides, nearly 30 to 40 words are given to represent that one in the correct way, to learn that in the correct way, to understand the difference, how we are making it P-O-O-R, we make it poor, poor. Most of us say it as poor, no va there, poor, ua, that overglide sound. So when we go through the entire words, we will understand the difference between what we are doing and what we have to do, and how we can easily get corrected into the right pronunciation. And then the stress patterns.
Stress patterns in English words. English is a stress-timed language. Indian languages are syllable-timed. The following diagrams are schematic presentations of stress timing and syllable timing. In these sections, we are presenting lists of words in which the stressed syllables are indicated by capital letters.
First is the schematic presentation of our language, syllable time language. And the second is the schematic presentation of English. We can see the stressing habit there. So in the next frame, we give some of the words.
2-syllable words stress on the first syllable. Advent, bandit, foray, impulse, mobile, fragile.
This is the word which we use at mobile, etc. What is the difference here? This is a 2-syllable word with stress on the first syllable. When we add this this rule to this word, that becomes mobile, move, by. The stress is on the first syllable, move. When we stress that one, the word becomes more beautiful or more correct. That is how it is there. And from here we present 2-syllable word with stress on the second syllable, 3 syllables, 3-syllable words with stress on the first syllable, second syllable, third syllable, etc. And give an idea about what is stressing and how we are doing it, how we have to do it. So when we go through this one, the habit we inculcate in ourselves, minimum 50% of that habit of stressing. That is what the lesson can do for our students. Let us go through the other things also. Another important thing is for practicing, we give this one. So neutralization exercises. Let us see that one.
Look at this picture. What do we see there? We see a box of matches. We also see a match burning. We use a match for lighting a fire.
Do we read it like this? I don't think so. I have seen it even to this extent. Look at this picture. What do we see there? We see a box of matches. We also see a match burning. We use a match for lighting a fire. And in between we make mistakes also. So here we teach them to read it in the same way as he does it. And there is a provision like Voice Pro which facilitates that one.
This picture. What do we see there? We see a box of matches. We also see a match burning. We use a match for lighting a fire.
Now give a roll number to this one. Let us write 12. No. Let us the number be 1. And let us record this one. This recording is done by the student sitting at his own seat using the apparatus in front of them. Then directly it goes to the computer. It gets recorded there. And let us see this one. Record. Look at this picture. What do we see there? We see a box of matches. We also see a match burning. We use a match for lighting a fire. Stop this one and play. Look at this picture. What do we see there? We see a box of matches. We also see a match burning. Use a match for lighting a fire. When the student is doing it, it will not be in the same way. It will have so many mistakes. And when it is presented to the student, the teacher can correct it. It is not, look at this picture and what do we see there? There is no pause. You have not paused. That pausing is necessary. And what do we see there? To make it an interrogation pattern, that see, the word see, verb see, has to be emphasized, has to be stressed, and lot of things like that. So with this one, the teacher can make improvement in the student in whatever way they want. This is the most peculiar and unique feature of the language lab, making them record their own voice in the software, sitting at their seat and repeating it and making it hear to them, listen to them and correct them. This is a very good feature. Like this, if we go through this one, there are 40 frames in this one, which goes on like this.
Plane travel is expensive in India. Actually, plane travel can be made a lot cheaper if more and more people travel by plane. Just think of the time saved. A jet plane travels at a speed of 800 kilometers an hour.
This also is to be repeated by the student. The difference is in the first lot of 10 frames like this, the sentences are smaller and it is not lengthier like this. Here it is lengthier. Why we have done like this one is, when we come from a shorter sentence to a lengthier sentence, the ability to listen to as well as repeat increases. So we are taking the students through a graded process as well as improve his ability outside English, his personality development, his ability to listen, ability to reproduce, that everything we are taking care of. And then it goes to the other frames like...
Giraffes are fascinating to watch. You normally find them only at a zoo. Look at their long necks. Do you sometimes wonder why a giraffe has a long neck? I know I do.
What is more peculiar or prominent here? Just we have added some modulations. As you know, modulation is very important in English, and we don't say them, it is modulation very important or anything like that. We tell them, repeat it in the same tone and rhythm as you hear it. When they complete it, we tell them it was the most difficult and important part in English speech that you have done successfully. Then he adds to his confidence. Like that, in this 40 frames, when he complete listening or complete recording this one, complete learning of this one, the way in which he speaks English changes drastically. And we can expect with any student who is serious, if the teacher is serious, There will be a difference, and we can mark the difference in their way of speaking English. The next one is situational English. We have produced 21 situations from our own social circumstances, and a conversation is presented like this.
Hello?
Is that you, Anju?
Yes, are you still at work? I've been expecting you since 5 o'clock.
Sorry about that. It looks I'm going to be late. Something has come up.
Something always comes up, doesn't it?
I really have no excuse, and I know it. I'm so sorry about it.
This is the third day in a row. I suppose you want me to go to the theatre alone.
How did you guess that? I was going to suggest precisely that. I was going to say, go to the film alone.
Did you expect me to say yes to the idea?
I was hoping you would say yes.
Well, I'm saying no.
Well then, we'll make it together some other day. What about Saturday next?
I'm not in a mood for any promises this time.
I'm really sorry about the whole thing. 10 minutes ago I was quite sure I was coming home, and we were both going to a film together.
And what happened in those 10 minutes, may I ask?
My boss called.
Spare me the details, please. Tell me, when will you be home?
8.
I shall expect you around 9. Your 8 actually means 9, doesn't it? Or even later.
Sorry dear, I gotta go. See you at 8.
I shall expect you at 8.
Of course you shall.
These are all conversations. 21 conversations are there, as I said earlier. These are all on our social circumstances, but the presentation of the conversation is not the translated version of our language conversations. It is all English circumstantial cues. I shall expect you at 8. Of course you shall. We don't have that habit of presenting it so politely. So we present along with the words, delivery of words, everything. We present our students to the right situational cues in English also. And this, the students hear it for some time, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 times as they need. And then two students repeat the conversations. When two students repeat the conversations, it will be in this one. You have seen the when it is conversation play, there will be 2 roll numbers, and it will go to both the files. And when we open this one, we can see the whole conversation made by this one. And what we do is when two students are making the repetitions, making the conversations, we ask the other persons to note down the mistakes they have committed. And if we want to point out the mistakes, we have to be carefully listening when we hear it. So that also is taken as a tool for best listening. And they listen to this one, make comments on that one. These comments or the mistakes which they have written down is discussed in the class, and while discussing this one, it becomes useful for everybody in the class. Like this, all the 21 conversations, one conversations we take 2 or 3 days to complete. And like that, when we complete the 21 conversations, all our students will have the correct delivery mode of English. Then minimum 50% of what is presented as situational cues, we get that one. Then the intonation patterns in the conversations, everything we get, and that is what we expect from the teachers and the students. And next we have another conversation called vocabulary building exercises. This is an exercise for getting into the right vocabulary.
Have you ever heard vegetables talking to each other? If they talked, what would they talk about? Listen to this conversation.
I had a friend with me yesterday. He was trampled to death.
You mean he was crushed to death? Someone stepped on him and he died.
That is right. There we were, both of us, gently swinging, and a boy stepped on my friend.
And you must have been horrified.
They swindled a lot of money.
They cheated and took a lot of money.
Let us get going.
Let us move on.
She would be furious when she hears this.
She would be livid when she hears this.
This is a very good exercise to get into the words. Nearly 6,000 words are presented. It is explained below. By repeated listening and repeated speaking out these things, they get minimum 10% of the words, new words. Here, for angry, they get 2 more words. Like this, they acquire a lot of words. They start using these words from the next day onwards. Everything happened like that. And this also is dealt with in the same way as we dealt with it in other conversation. 2 persons make the conversations, others note it down, and if it is this conversation, 3 persons, let 3 persons get involved in this one. Like this, we involve maximum number of students for their benefit to produce this one, to pronounce this one, and make this presentation in the way it is presented in this software. That is what we have done. Then there is a portion called common errors in English that also is unique. That is for the senior students.
Some of the common errors in English are given below. Each wrong sentence is followed by its correct version. I have good news for you. News is uncountable. He gave me some information. Information is uncountable. We have a lot of furniture. Furniture is also uncountable.
Here in the first sentence, I have a good news for you. That is a sentence with a mistake. That A is not suitable there. I have good news for you. That is corrected like that. News is uncountable. And that is the reason why we have corrected it as I have good news for you. Then examine why this A has come into in our usage. Because in our language, ഒരു വാർത്ത പറയട്ടെ, ഒരു ന്യൂസ് പറയട്ടെ. By ek baat suniye. This ek and uru, that is present in our language. So when we translate it to English, we take this uru or ek to English also and start saying, I have a good news for you. Even people who recognize this as a subject, as a mistake, use this sentence in the mistaken way. They like this. Some 150 mistakes are presented, and while going through this one, if at all it is in our stream, we get these mistakes eradicated from our stream. That is what we can do. And our senior students will get benefit out of this one. Minimum 50 mistakes, they will be having it in their stream. Grammar with exercises. Everything in grammar. For 278
of items and their arrangements. Imagine, let us further imagine. Traditionally, to illustrate sentence structure rules, here is this burly grammarian placing carefully and gently different words in their allotted positions. The grammarian is a bit clumsy with his fingers, but he gets his sentences right.
The tall man came here. It is all represented by creatures of different colors. The beautiful girl wept bitterly. Looking at the creature, this is a black one, that is from the particle. As said, particle consists of articles, conjunction, interjunction, etc. So this is an article. Beautiful is a violet one, that is an adjective. Girl, that is a yellow one, that is a noun. Wept, that is a magenta one, that is a verb. That is a pink one, that is a verb. And bitterly, that is a magenta one, that is from the group of adverbs. So where the adverb, where the adjective, where it is placed, beautiful girl, wept bitterly, before the noun and after the verb. So in the next presentation, we are giving that one also, that ruler.
Pronouns. Pronouns are a special category of nouns. The list of pronouns is a short one. I and we are first-person pronouns. I is a personal pronouns. You use personal pronouns to refer back to nouns or to refer to people and things directly.
I called the student and told her to come.
Here, her stands for the student.
I visited Delhi last month. It is a big city.
Here, it refers to Delhi.
The postman was tall. He was over 6 feet.
Here, she refers to the postman.
Everything is presented, the grammar. The whole grammar is presented through conversations so that it becomes more easy for the student to understand this one. Like that, everything in English grammar is presented in an animated and unique form, which makes easy for the student to understand it and acquire it. I don't go through the entire thing. Let me close this one with this one. And we have phonetics, the entire thing starting with the sounds of English and then ending with the difference of British English and American English that is presented here in phonetics. Phonetics will surely become a branch of study for the junior students in the days to come. We present it in advance. And next one is a pronunciation dictionary, which we have given to tempt the students to go through the pronunciation. Let us see this one.
Abacus. No, it's not the way how it is pronounced, because the first syllable receives the stress and not the second. So the initial a must be long, and it is pronounced abacus. Access. Well, Indians emphasize the second syllable instead of the first. The a must be long in duration, so it should be access and not excess. Accessory. Here, the stress should be on the second syllable, not on the first. The first sound is a centralized short vowel, so accessory is the right pronunciation and not accessory.
See, this word ACCESS. Indian pronunciation mostly is access, not access. So it is the access is corrected as access, and in the next one, while correcting this word, we have a tendency to read this as accessory. That becomes accessory. That is the rule. And when we go through these things, the students get more and more tempted and interested in English pronunciation. That is what we are intended, or that is what we have now made these things like this. In this dictionary, we have presented 989 words from all the alphabets. And this being a demo, we are not giving the entire thing. And this is the presentation. And there is one more dictionary which is of a different type. We have seen a major portion of the software, and now we go to the divisions. See here, there are 4 sections: letters of the alphabet, lesson 1, lesson 2, and some stories. That is for the students, small students from the LKG to third standard or second standard, as the standard is here.
What is this? This is a bag. What is this? This is a bag. This is a bag.
We have given this one because of a particular aspect. We have seen in most of the schools this being taught like, what is this? Or what is this? This is a bag. Wrong pausing. It should not be taught to the young minds. That is why this presentation is given. Nearly 200 frames like this repeated. And while going through this one, the teachers get an idea about how English is to be presented to the young ones. And the next one also is something like this.
Our names. Who came? Vivek did. Who wants this? I do. Who can do it? I can. Who will do it? She will. Who went with you? Your sister did. Who can go with you? You or he can.
And a crane. In a forest there was a peacock. It was very proud of its feathers. It saw its own reflection in the pond and thought. Once as it was going through the forest, soon they found a hunter coming by.
There are practice materials here on grammar. They can attend to it, get the score, then get the answers and try it again. So there are 2000 exercises provided like that. In spite of that, we have another grammar games, edu games, Tinku edu games. That also is presented in a good way. It is the demonstration is not there, and we have another role play models here.
What's going on between you and Rahul? Did you both have a fight or something?
I can't stand by him anymore. He has such a short fuse that even a little piece of friendly advice sets him off.
So, what did you tell him?
I told him not to keep playing always.
No wonder he threw a fit. Playing is really a sore point with him.
Well, as from now, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
See the presentation. These are all done by our own boys with a little bit of practice. That means our students also can practice and speak it in the right way, like what they do. It is only the matter of practice and the matter of time. Over a few days, over a few weeks, we want to change it. Not possible. But consistently, constantly, use it, and this change, you will notice it in our students. And the change has to take place from the teacher onwards. This hardware system and the software system gives a lot of input and avenues for practicing, which will make our students, which will improve the quality, which will improve the standard and style of English spoken by our students. And for the results, for the benefits you get from this one, the cost which you spend for the whole lifetime, one-time investment for the whole lifetime is just 4.5 to 5 lakhs rupees. And the cost of a teacher, that is monthly salary of a teacher. And what you get is a new world of English. That is what we promise you. Olivia English Language Lab. For better English, for better skills in English, for better ability in English. Olivia English Language Lab. Order it today. Call us. Go to our website and order it. Or call us 871 450 3235. info@digitalenglish.in. info@digitalenglish.in. Thank you very much.